Okay, so today we are going to talk about um and continue our discussion about search algorithms and how we can apply those algorithms to graph structures. We talked about DFS, we talked about how we can use DFS to explore a graph. We talked about how we could use DFS to find out all the connected components in a graph, how many disjoints, graph subsets there are in a particular structure. And we can also, we also talked about how we could use DFS to sort out a particular graph in the order of parent and child relationships using topological sorts, and how we could use that particular algorithm to find out strongly connected components in a graph that was essentially or finding out all the cycles in a particular graph, right? So today we are going to talk about a few other algorithms, uh, mainly sec. Mainly, we would like to design an algorithm that not only explores a particular graph, but also finds out the shortest distance from a particular node to another particular node. So what I mean when I say that finding the shortest distance, if you consider this particular graph here, and let's say that we apply DFS to this particular graph here. In that scenario, let's say we start off from the node S, and then as we would perform DFS stuff, let's essentially, we would first pick one particular edge that is connected to S. So let's say we picked out, let's say we picked A. Then essentially, once we get into A, remember that until and unless we have covered all the children of A that A is connected to, we need to, we can't go back to S again and explore other edges, right? So from A, we would explore B. From B, we would explore C. And once we are done, there are no other new vertices to be found here. Then we go back to S. And from S, let's say that the next thing that we check is D. And from D onwards, we can then again search for E. And once we are done, we come back to S, and that is our DFS tree for this particular graph. Now, this is a very nice, so DFS, this particular algorithm is a very nice algorithm to figure out and explore a graph and basically figure out the connectivity of that graph. However, this does not necessarily give you the most economical path, so to speak, right? So when I say economical path, that means that it does not create a tree that has the minimum distance from two particular nodes. It just has a tree that explores and finds all the nodes and finds some connectivity between those nodes, but there is no guarantee that two particular nodes will be close together if their distance is also smaller. So let's, for example, say that S here is connected directly to C in this graph. However, if we look at this particular tree here, we get from S to A to B, B to C. Now, if we were using this particular tree to traverse this graph, would this route S from S, then A, then B, then C, would this route be the most economical way of reaching C? I want yes or no. So let's say that every edge here basically considers is considered to be weight of 1. So in that scenario, essentially no, right? Because in this scenario, I am traversing one node, two node, and then the third node gives me the value C. However, I know that there is a direct connection from S to C, but applying DFS on this graph does not get me that particular path. So today we are going to discuss algorithms which find out the shortest possible path from any two vertices. So essentially, we are going to look at another algorithm. We will call this breadth first search, or BFS. So again, consider the same graph as earlier, but let's say that every edge in this particular graph has a weight of 1. Now, in contrast to DFS, where we covered every vertex, their children, the children of those that particular vertex, and then we reverted back. In BFS, we would first cover all of the nodes that are connected to a particular node and then move forward. So essentially, let's say that we again start from S, and you can imagine that if I pick S and just dangle this entire graph on that node, so let's say S becomes your root node, then BFS would essentially search all the edges that are connected and adjacent to S right now. In that scenario, we have A, C, D, and E. And then once we are done covering all of those, then we basically look at A or C, and then essentially A is connected to B, and then we find out B. So in this sort of a scenario, we can see that here we will always find the shortest possible distance to any node starting from S. So we see that if we have this particular graph, we know that let's pen. So we know, so let's see that how BFS would actually traverse and explore this graph. So we start off from S, and then from S, we find all the nodes that are connected to S. So essentially we have these set of nodes here. And so all of these nodes can be reached from S by just a single edge, right? So all of these nodes are at a distance 1 from S. So BFS discovers all of these nodes first, and once it has done so, it then moves forward for each of those nodes in turn. So then it starts from A, and then it finds B, where B is now from S. The distance to B would basically be 2 steps, right? So that actually finds you the shortest possible distance to a particular node. So you can imagine BFS as being a search algorithm that essentially looks like, so let's say that you open the tap and the water is flooding out from the node of S. So if we open the tap at S and where S is connected to those particular neighbor nodes, it essentially reaches those nodes first, and then it moves forward to the other nodes that are reachable after those nodes, right? So in that scenario, you can imagine that BFS will always find the shortest path given a particular graph and a starting node. Does that sort of make sense as to what BFS is trying to do? Yes, no? Perfect. So let's look at the algorithm for BFS. So let's look at the algorithm for BFS. Again, similar to DFS, we provide the graph G. And again, that particular graph can be represented either as a matrix or as a list, doesn't really matter. Then essentially we would give it a starting node S, where S is a vertex from the set V. And then what it needs to output is for all vertices U that is reachable from S, the distance U should be set such that it is the shortest possible distance for getting from S to U. Okay. So again, as we did for DFS, we would first initialize all the vertices distance to infinity, and then let's set the starting distance for S as 0 because S is reachable from S without any distance. And then let's have a queue that currently has only one node, that is S. We are going to add more and more nodes as we discover them in this queue. So before we move forward with this algorithm, just a quick question. Is queued the data structure for last in, first out, or first in, first out? FIFO or LIFO? Anybody else? Right? So that is the data structure that we are going to look into. So a queue is essentially FIFO, that is first in, first out. And while my queue is not empty, I'm going to pick the first element from that queue. Initially, that is only going to have my node S. And then for all edges that are connected to S, so that are all nodes that are all edges connected to S. So this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge. So all of these edges I'm going to evaluate those edges and I'm going to update those weights such that for any edge u comma v, where u is my current node and v is the connected vertex from with that edge, for every vertex v, we are going to check if distance is infinity. If it is infinity, we are going to insert that particular vertex in our queue and then essentially set the distance to the particular vertex as the distance of u plus 1, right? So if we look at this particular scenario here, I think I have an example here. Yes. So let's look at that particular example again. So we started off and with that particular graph, that is this particular graph here. And we are going to basically build our BFS search tree as we explore more and more from this graph. So we start off from this queue being empty, we insert S into our queue, and then we eject S, and we now discover all edges connected to S. So all of the edges that are connected to S are going to connect to A, C, D, E vertices, right? So we insert all of those vertices inside the queue, and then as we do with Q, we pick the first one next in line. So we pick A next, and once we pick A, we are now going to evaluate all of those vertices from A. So we know that we already have connections to S and B from A. S is already done, but the next thing in line is B. So we insert B into the queue. So since it's a queue, it goes at the very end of that queue. Then comes the next one, that is C. C is already explored. C has nothing more, no more information to provide us. Then we move on to D. So we eject C from this queue. Then we move on to D. D again has nothing, no more information. We eject D. Then we move on to E. Again, E has nothing to add to our information. Then we look at B, and once we are done, we have explored all of those vertices, and this is our corresponding BFS tree. So since we are using this queue approach, essentially we are able to discover all the vertices that are in my immediate neighborhood. I need to process all of those vertices together. So I insert them into the queue. And then once I have them in my queue, I then keep on exploring all of those vertices one by one, and I add more and more vertices to the queue as I explore more and more neighbors of the neighbors, the neighbors of those neighbors, and so on. Right? So this gets rid of all the back, forward, and cross edges. Not necessarily. So Brian, if we have a directed graph, and we know that DFS works on directed graphs, BFS would also work with directed graphs as well. So those tree edges, forward edges, and back edges, and all of those edges are not an artifact of the DFS algorithm, but it's an artifact of the graph itself. So if we have an edge that connects back to a parent that is not searched from BFS, but that is not part of the BFS tree, again, that is going to be a back edge. If we have an edge that connects forward to a particular child, in that scenario, let's see. Let's take an example here. So let's say that we have this particular edge that goes from C to B, right? So what is this? In this scenario, this is a forward edge that goes to a child. Let's say that this was a directed edge that had a direction towards B. So in that case, we would still have a forward edge, right? There is an edge between C and B, but it is not part of our BFS tree. So those concepts are different, but they still apply to BFS as well. Does that make sense? Brian Akins. Okay, so let's take an example then. So let's say that we have this directed edge that goes towards B, from C to B, right? So let's bring up